as a Christian.
Like, have you ever been in like an awkward situation where you're like?
Yeah, okay, I can tell you. It was like 3 weeks after I gave my life to Christ, I was at basketball practice. And I had a teammate that said, I can shoot the ball because of the work I put in. And I told him the only reason why you have the ability to be here right now and to work on your game is because the Lord has given you that opportunity to. And it was super awkward because my teammates up to this point had only known me as somebody that was like angry and like cussing a lot and not cool. And the rest of the team kind of looked at me like, who is this guy? Like, what is he saying? And for the rest of practice, the vibe was just off. Like, nobody really talked to me anymore for that practice. And so it was just really awkward because I changed and nobody else really knew it or believed it. And so that's probably like one of the most awkward times in school that I can remember about me being a Christian.
Okay. So a little bit of background. Did you grow up Christian? How's your household?
Definitely did not grow up Christian. So I grew up, I went to church like 3 or 4 times for the first 14 and a half years of my life. My mom and dad didn't really care. My brother and sister also didn't really care. And our household was cool. Like, it was kind of volatile. My parents, they were present and they did their best, but I would say, like, after learning what it is to be like a father in Christ, they tried hard, but I feel like they missed the mark. And so I gave my life to Christ when I was 14 and a half. And from there, I've been just walking on Christ ever since.
So did you get involved with like friends or like?
Yeah, so like friendships definitely changed from between my freshman and sophomore year. Freshman year, I was like still going to parties and stuff, hanging out with people that like were fun people to hang out with, like dope dudes and girls, but this weren't leading me towards Jesus. And so my sophomore year is when I really saw my friendships start to shift to people that actually cared about me. Because it seemed like we're aligned and following Jesus together.
Off topic, but what was your favorite and your least favorite years of high school?
Favorite year gotta be my senior year, because like it was just fun. Like I was kind of popular. People knew I was saved, and so like they would respect me enough to like not cuss around me, and like I thought it was a badge of honor when they didn't do it, and but they still invited me to things to hang out. So that was my favorite year. My least favorite year was my sophomore year. It's my first year where I was different, and I feel like it still took a while for people to know who I was and who I was trying to be. And so that's kind of my favorite and least favorite year. Yeah.
So why teaching?
So teaching for me, so I want to live a life of purpose. I don't know if there's another job that you get between 90 to 150 kids every year that you have a chance to live out your faith towards. I feel like it gives me the highest chance of influence towards Jesus, as opposed to me working behind a desk or anything like that. And so I feel like, and I feel like the Lord has given me a lot of things where I can be a decent teacher. And so that's kind of the 2 reasons why I chose to be a teacher and a coach.
So how do you live it out as a teacher around all those kids?
Yeah, so I think the easiest thing was, it's the first day of school, I let them know that I'm a believer. I don't really talk about it much after that, but I let them know I'm a believer. And the easiest thing for me is whenever I'm challenged, I give them a perspective that's biblical. And I'll give you an example. There's students that often ask me, if I do this, then who am I harming? And I say, you're probably not harming anyone, but you're compromising my integrity. And I think having a high integrity is a good trait or fruit of somebody that's chasing after Jesus. And so although I'm not forthcoming about my belief, I am holding firm to what I feel is a fruit of following Jesus. And so it's just things like that.
So it's like not like up on the stage, but it's behind the scenes.
Correct. It's not overt, but it's covert. Yeah, for sure.
So if you were back in your sophomore year, what would you tell yourself? And like if you're just starting to come out or like show your faith, how would you tell?
I would tell myself a couple things. One, I would say like don't let go of the rope. Like being a Christian in high school is hard. Especially when you got influences that are going to force you to want to try new things because they seem more fun. And so don't hold on or don't let go of the rope. The next thing I would say is the only way to beat whatever you're going through is through it. And so as a sophomore, I avoided a lot of conversations and a lot of people. In turn, I should have just went straight forward with my faith and went through it. And so I'm a big believer that you got to be gritty to believe and hold on to the rope. And I wanted to make sure, if I was talking to my 10th grade self, that's something I would say. It's like, it's got to be gritty and don't let go of the rope.
At your age, like, I know I struggle with this, but like being consistent,
Mm-hmm.
like, how would you like hold yourself to hold the rope and be so consistent? Like,
yeah, so if I was talking to my 10th grade self to be consistent, I would say you got to find a rhythm that works and be willing to reinvent the wheel. So as a basketball player in 10th grade, you don't have practice in the morning anymore. Mm-hmm. And so I found myself reading during like RTI time or advisory period because it worked for me. Yeah. And so that was my way of being consistent. Now the weekends were harder because it's just more time to have fun. And so I told myself that Saturday mornings were the time I was going to read because I knew by the time it was noon, I was hanging out with the guys. And so I would say, like, find a rhythm that really works for you and your lifestyle, but rhythms change in different seasons. So whenever it's the off season in the summertime, I read at the end of the day. Because in the mornings, I woke up at like noon, and by the time I was hanging out, and so I read at like 8 o'clock. So just find a rhythm that works, stick to it, don't be afraid to reinvent the wheel.
Thank you.